Wunker has founded 4 pioneering companies and 2 nonprofits. He also led the team that created one of the world's first smartphones. He's competed with Microsoft, McKinsey, and an organized crime family. As the longtime managing director of New Markets Advisors, he's counseled hundreds of companies on innovation opportunities. He's written over 100 articles for Harvard Business Review, Forbes, and others. He's also authored 4 best-selling books, including his latest, The Innovative Leader. He's considered one of the world's leading authorities on innovation. Now I would like to invite Steve to give the keynote address for TMT 2025.
Thank you again very much for having me. So I'm going to speak with you about my latest book, The Innovative Leader, where we really try to understand what makes innovative leaders so effective. I've seen time and again that you can have a great idea, you can have great strategy, but it is leadership that makes the difference in getting effective innovations originated and then through to actual commercialization. So we went out and we interviewed 50 innovative leaders from all walks of life. And I'm here to share with you some of their secrets. I'm going to share with you actually the person who started off our book with the interviews. We're going to talk a little bit about this man, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. He was kind enough to spare us a little bit of time and provide us with a few quotes. Now, Nadella took office as CEO in 2014 in Microsoft, and he got there, he was playing a really tough hand. For the previous 14 years during Steve Ballmer's tenure, the stock price at Microsoft had done very little except to decline by a third. And so Nadella knew he had to do something different. But he didn't just start and say, we're going to go do this. No, he diagnosed the problem first that he thought Microsoft really had. A big one of those was being arrogant and assuming that everybody just knew what the market would need. So rather than just boldly setting the direction, first he listened. He went out and he met with customers. He met with channel partners, with other sorts of people in the Microsoft IT ecosystem, with employees, of course, as well. He listened very actively. As he told us, when we say innovation is all about meeting unmet and unarticulated needs of the marketplace, you need to have deep empathy. And he told us a little bit later, empathy is the root of all innovation. So he got himself connected with the marketplace, and he made himself a role model for the listening and unarrogant behaviors that he wanted Microsoft to take on. Now, eventually, you do need to be decisive, and Nadella said that Microsoft needed to be a cloud-first company, which was a big difference from both the IT orientation as well as the business model that Microsoft had had in the past. It took a couple years, but pretty soon that new orientation started paying real dividends. And by 5 years into Nadella's tenure, the stock price had increased 440%. But the remarkable thing about Nadella is that he didn't rest on his laurels. He was always looking for what's next, what's next, what's next. And so audaciously, he met with all of these startups, including this tiny little 100-person startup called OpenAI. And he invested $1 billion into that tiny firm. And then he thought 360 degrees about how the company could incorporate AI into its full set of products, really boldly. He went out there and he made Microsoft an AI leader, and he enabled its over 100,000 employees to take this initiative themselves. And of course, that paid even larger dividends. And at this point, Microsoft stock is up about 1,100 times since he took office, versus doing nothing in the 14 years under Steve Ballmer, except to decline. That is not a coincidence. That is the essence of innovative leadership. Nadella embodies a formula that we call CREATE. He was connected. He was a role model. He evolved with the marketplace. He was audacious. He was a 360-degree thinker, and he was an enabler of all those people around him so that they could take forward that vision, execute it, and build on it themselves. That is innovative leadership. Thanks.